the sheer scope of grief and wasted human potential, we have a moral obligation to understand the ultimate reasons why we destroy one another.
Shalom. I'm actually gonna.
Okay, do the readjust.
I was like sliding at one point.
Oh, my back's sweating.
Mine is as well.
Still falling apart.
I like the bit of tissue we've got to balance this out. Is this what this is
Big
for?
budget.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Why does it glow up?
Because my friend made it and it's so sick. Look.
Oh, okay. It does
But
glow.
is
It
that
just needs
light
to be
so
dark.
bright?
Yeah.
You can't see how.
You need to get
bright
like.
it
Have
is.
you not seen the massive ones you can get?
I
like-
rent this house.
Okay, yeah.
Not
yeah.
allowed to
No,
put
but
things
you
on
can,
the wall.
No, but you can put it on the wall. No, you got a picture frame on the wall.
No, that hook was already there.
I'll put a hook on for you. I'm a handyman.
Yeah.
Nah, you should get one, innit? My mate Emilio's got one in for his barbershop. It's got like Valentio barbershop. But it's all like.
Oh, well, like these wires.
Yeah, so it's
Oh, I
like
bought
this,
some
but it's
of them
massive,
wires.
but it's so sick. Like they're so good.
I
They're,
bought the wires, but I can't do the shaping.
yeah, they're expensive, but like they're worth the money, man.
Oh, that's why I bought the
Wait till I
£10
show
box.
My back. It will be a lot darker than what it was when I come in. Trying to see my t-shirt.
I'm gonna also ask you some of my more questions. Some more, obviously, anything you don't want to answer is absolutely fine.
No, go on.
Um,
I'm an open book.
do you want to share your mental health journey?
Yes, I
like
can do.
anything that you've been through that you feel like could help other people speak up about how they feel about life.
Yeah.
Like for example, like me, I have a massive identity problem.
Mhm.
I don't know who the fuck I am every
do.
day. And some days I'm like, oh, I know what I want, but that doesn't mean I know like who I am.
No, of course. I think when we live in such a diluted world of sort of opinions, it's hard to understand who you are. And I think because you see, I don't know for you or anyone else, but like a lot of people see a lot of things, so then they sort of. It's I don't know. It's like sometimes you don't. Like, am I this person or am I that person? Because you see it more. Like human beings see a lot of shit that we shouldn't see, like on a normal daily basis. Like we see so much, and it's like that can affect who you think you are.
Yeah.
Surroundings as well, like with at school, things like influences. It can make you struggle with identity. But for myself, like I think like before I was saying with like the pub stuff and being down there, like that was probably the darkest place that I've ever been.
Yeah.
I was very like, as much as I play it off, I was very fucking depressed and I was very down. I hated myself, like
Yeah.
everything that I did. I hated my work, I hated who I was, I hated who I become, and I just didn't want to be around. I remember calling my dad, like crying, and he'd be like, "What's up?" And I just don't want to be here. Like I don't want to be around. And he said, stop being silly in a way. Like people love you and sort of things like that. And you just feel such a hollow, empty shell of yourself.
Yeah.
That for me it was like, fuck, man. Like I couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, I want to get out this mindset.
Yeah, and it's hard. I'm not gonna pretend. Like I can say here now, like I feel great. I feel fantastic now. I've never felt any better in my life. But at the time, it's not as easy as someone just saying, "Oh, do this and do that." And I know
It's really not.
I know I can be the one to say that now as well. Like I can truly say to someone, "Oh, if you try this or you try this, you'll feel better. I promise you, you'll feel better." I know, but actually just doing it is hard. Like someone getting up to go to the gym is the hardest bit. But once you're
it's so
there,
hard.
yeah. But once
I've
you're
been paying my membership for months.
I paid a whole membership for a year and didn't go once. I was like, you take my money, I'm not using you. But like, yeah, I think it was the gym next to my work that I was going to. I literally went in there once to pay for my monthly thing, and then that was that. And I was like, can I cancel? I was like, no, you've got your contract. I was just like, oh, okay. Okay.
Guess I'll keep paying then.
I'll just pay it. Yeah. Literally, so I was just like, fuck.
Yeah,
But,
and I think we also have access to like so much that it's really hard to like have an identity
100%.
because we can do everything.
You can, innit? Like, I do think truly, like, how I think about stuff now is that it's similar to how I was saying earlier. Like, when your mind, listening to yourself is one of the most important things in the whole existence of your life.
And your
Like,
body.
Yeah, like tuning in and channeling into your thoughts and understanding your spirit. Like, I like to think of human beings as you have a physical sense of self, you have an intelligence of yourself, and then you have a spirit of yourself. Like, those three things aligned and in balance will make you happy. But a lot of the times people have like this physical sense of self, which they don't have it aligned with the other two. So let's say like you're used to seeing yourself with a filter on your face, or like you're used to seeing other people with dolled up makeup, or they've had surgeries. Or for men, like some things could be like, this guy's looking sharp, he's constantly sharp, he's got sharp beard, or like I'm overweight, or this or that. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it is, like everyone has an individual sort of like expectancy of themselves, and that can truly put you down when you see a lot of it. But getting those other two things aligned with that, like, truly makes a massive difference to your life. And I do think the only thing that can change that is educating yourself and knowledge, and just becoming familiar with one. One thing that helped me massively is that I've always very much been interested in Buddhism. I'm not a Buddhist myself or religious in any matter, but I do really, really, really appreciate the teachings of Buddhism.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books. It's partially the reason why I wanted to go travelling around Asia.
You could learn more about it.
Yeah, like I was going to monasteries and temples and like speaking to Buddhists, like and it's truly like some of the wisdom they have that they can say to you, it's like, wow, like what the fuck, like it can change the way you think, but it starts from within. Like, it's again, like I was saying before, like until you actually start making yourself better internally, you can't express that frequency out. And I do think it's a frequency, like we all vibrate, we all have this frequency we push out, and it's like energy that we expel. And it's just like, if your energy is bad, then you're going to get bad back.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you create like this internal like positive energy inside yourself, like it massively creates a difference to what you see. Like, and I think this is something that I'm proud of myself for getting out of this hole. Like, I don't even know how I did it. I think working like with my stepdad changed a lot. Because I'm at work and I'm focused on just doing work, and I had to do stuff. As much as I hated my job, and at that time I was hating my life, he pushed me to go travelling. I think I mentioned to him one time about going travelling. My dad done the same for me as well. Like, my dad pushed me to go travelling, and when you have people like that actually want you to do better, that massively changes your influences.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, bro. And
same with negative energy.
Yeah, bro. So, as much as I sound cocky and a bit of an arsehole when I say this, but like seriously, like if someone is giving me negative energy and I can't help them, or they don't want to help themselves, I'm sorry, but like, I just can't have you around me, innit? Like, not in a nasty manner.
No.
I will start to avoid that person, not because I hate you, but
because they're affecting your mental health.
You're really fucking up my shit, like, and I can't have that, innit? Like, for myself, like myself first and foremost is my most important thing in my, like, I try and
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And the only person you'll be with for the rest of your life.
This is it. Like,
it's like someone's drowning. You know, it's like if you try and save them, you'll just end up drowning with them.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how deep the water is.
Yeah, fucking hell, Alex.
You've got a rock on your foot. Nah, you can sink.
Oh, that's funny.
It's just some nugget with no legs and arms. It's like, no, just flip him over. Yeah. You know that.
Get him out of here.
But nah, like, mental health was a massive thing for me. I wouldn't say that I was ever bad. As much as it was bad for me, I compare myself to other people out there that have had real traumatic shit in their life. Like, I've had a good upbringing. I've never had to like really struggle too much in life because of that. I'm grateful for that as well. Like, I'm not one of these.
But that doesn't invalidate your experiences.
Of course not. Like, I always say, like, you could have the richest family, but yet, like, you could be the most depressed kid because you don't have that love from your parents. Do you know what I mean? Like, your dad could be a businessman, or let's say your dad works in the army and he's never there. Like, you are missing something out of your life, and that in itself fucks you up. Yeah, like, it really does. Like, you can't compare two situations and say, you can't be upset because yours isn't like this.
Yeah, no, I hate it when people say that.
I know, and it's really, really bad. Like,
because everyone feels a certain way, and they could feel worse than you do. Like, if you're used to having traumatic shit in your life, and someone comes along and like falls out with someone, and it's like very traumatic for them because they've been attached to the hip or whatever, that could be more traumatic and more impacting on their life than what you're used to, and you're used to trauma sort of thing. Not to say that one's worse or better than the other.
Trauma can be normalised as well. Like when someone's been around something for so long, they normalise how they then become sort of like normalised to it. They think that's normal, and they think that that's like okay to feel like that because they get used to it. But it's I don't know, like making yourself feel better within and controlling that is balance. Having balance in your life is key, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's
and
so
it is hard.
It's hard, yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's easy, because it's really not. Like, I think as well, like I wrote a poem the other day that it's about like as much as I do feel happy, I do feel like I've got this real dark sort of cloud deeming in the side of my spirit, or sort of the corner of my soul somewhere. But like I say, like without good, you can't feel the bad, and without bad, you can't feel the good.
Absolutely.
And I do think that
can't be good every day.
Yeah, and I think that's just Mother Nature's way of showing you, like, yeah, good, you're on a roll, but like, boom, like you still need to feel this emotion.
Oh yeah,
do you know what I mean? And I
feel like my life is like a fucking TV series of EastEnders.
Yeah, this is it. Like
sometimes it's like really good. I don't watch what?
EastEnders.
No, I mean I watch a bit on TikTok at the minute because apparently someone's having a baby.
I find it
she's
funny.
like 12 years old.
I find it funny. I walk into the back of my work sometimes, and Reese is just sat there watching EastEnders. I was like, "Bruv, are you really watching EastEnders on your break, bruv?" I'm just like, "Come on, man,
do that in your spare time."
I feel fucking Mitchell's still in it, for fuck's sake. I thought he was dead, bruv.
Half of them do die and come back somehow, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode when Max was buried alive?
No.
Does no one else remember that?
The last episode of...
It was Max, wasn't it? Max and Tanya.
I remember
I was like a kid.
I remember that. The last episode I watched of EastEnders is when Charlie jumped off the pub.
Which was Charlie?
The ginger guy. I can't remember.
Oh, Stacey's partner.
Yeah, he jumped off the pub.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Duppied himself, bro. Splattered.
I thought he fell off.
I think
he was on the roof. He was going to do it, but
yeah,
he fell.
I mean... Cut that out. Don't do it. Oh dear. I'm an arsehole.
So how do you practice like self-care when you feel like you're having these tougher mental health days?
I think I meditate. I don't meditate a lot, but I do meditate. But I wouldn't say that that's one thing that helps me. It just, that's something that I enjoy doing because it gives me that sense of like clarity after. I recommend it to people. It's hard. Your monkey mind says a lot of shit when you're meditating, but the idea is not to ignore it. Most people think meditation is sitting there going like this, and then like you're shutting all your emotions off and you don't have no thoughts. That's not what it is. Like for me anyway, like meditation is more about being able to become familiar with yourself and understand how your thoughts work and like processing them in a better way, like becoming friends with the devil inside, or becoming friends with that like annoying little monkey mind that chitter chatters constantly, because everyone has it. You've got this voice that like pitter patters around your head constantly all day long, but it's being able to identify that what your mind does to you. So if you recognize that your mind is constantly saying bad things to you, you are able to basically realize what it's doing and then process that in a different way. And you can sort of say to yourself like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, you are saying that shit and you are saying I shouldn't do this, but I am going to do it anyway. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's your resilience and your ego stopping you. But you pushing past that is you overcoming that. Yeah. And then over a period of time, because it's not straight away, but over a period of time, you allow your monkey mind to stop manifesting these bad thoughts. But truly, one thing that I do think that the reason why I'm quite happy as a person is because I do a lot of stuff for myself. Yeah. I've got a lot of hobbies, like I do my music, I write, I read, I do my biking, I do my clothing, and all of these things have a massive attribution into why I feel satisfied with life. My job helps out as well. Like I'm so grateful for my job, like being a barber and being able to do stuff creative. One, I'm doing some artwork. Two, I'm making people feel happy, and I just get to chat shit all day, whether it's good or bad. Do
you find being around people recharges your social battery?
Sometimes, like I'm very hit and miss with social stuff. I think because I work with people all the time and I've got a lot of stuff going on, like throughout the day I don't allow myself to think too much because I'm just talking. It's all like I'm just regurgitating stuff. Yeah. And you do have a lot of the same conversations all the time.
I
But
can imagine. How's the weather?
yeah, literally, like football. Don't talk to me about football because I don't know anything about football.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think sometimes because I'm quite an outspoken person, I can not control a conversation, but I can be the
Take the narrative.
yeah, like be the alpha in it or whatever you want to call it. Like I can be the. I can direct a conversation where I want it, and some people are probably thinking, "Fucking hell, this kid's crazy, bro. Like, what's he even on about?" But it's just I like to talk.
I think it makes people feel comfortable.
100%, and I know as well, like as much as people don't like swearing in shops, like because I just say vulgar stuff sometimes, and like they just feel like, oh, this kid's just sound, and it like there's people that are so like manuscripted in a way or scripted, like they'll be like, oh, hello sir, how are you doing? Like I'm just like, yes, bro, what you saying? You were good. Do you know what I mean? I just talk normally. Like how I'm talking to you now is how I talk to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't change, and I don't feel that's good. But I understand people that are maybe in an office-based job where they have got like 40, 50-year-old people that they're working for. That you need to have this sort of mannerism about yourself. You need to have professionalism. You need to be able to speak properly. It's almost like you're going against your own grain. Like,
I think to a certain extent, yeah. But it is old-fashioned.
Of course it is, yeah. I do understand it. Like, professionalism is important. I'm not going to say that again.
Professionalism.
I'm
usually the one with the speech impediment.
Yeah. I must get it sometimes. But, so it's important sometimes because, obviously, certain places, like let's say you went to a restaurant and then like they just slap your plate on the dinner table like your mum would or whatever. You're like, bruv,
yeah,
we do.
Where's the manners?
Yeah, so it's manners and cater, and it's just things like that. So I think if you've got a level of respect for people and you've got a certain level of mannerisms and like morals are important.
Absolutely.
Like, then
some people got none of them.
Oh mate, some people really do piss me off. Like,
yeah,
like some people are so disrespectful for no reason.
It's insane.
I don't know if they even know that they're like that, or if it's just genuinely how they're brought up, or their influences, or.
I think a lot of people are either raised or in an environment of people that will never ever tell them they're wrong.
No, 100%.
And even if they are wrong, because every kid's a winner these days, and it's like, you got to fucking lose. You can't win without losing.
This is what
if you win every time, you're never gonna know you've won.
100%, and this is the hardship in life, man. Like you can't be like softened to every blow that you get because it's not teaching you a lesson, man. Like sometimes you do need to be called a cunt, and sometimes you do need a smack.
Yeah,
and it's not necessarily
discipline.
Yeah, and it's like I don't mean like someone
not abuse.
Yeah, like I don't. That's what I was gonna say. I don't mean someone that's just like smacking a kid just because they swore, but like they need to have some sort of fear that they shouldn't do that and understand why that is. And I'm not a parent. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I always say stuff at work like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't have that, or.
And people go, you're not a parent.
Yeah, and they'll be like, well, you're not a parent. Try telling your kid that when they're screaming their house down.
Yeah. And
you're like, yeah, to be fair, I get it. Like sometimes it is easier just to chuck an iPad in a kid's face and tell them to shut up. It is easier.
Look at a lot of them now.
Yeah.
Unless you're sat there making it clear to your child that it's like TV time or iPad time, and it's not like a norm thing you should be doing 24/7. I think it does create
scheduling stuff. I think is important. Like,
yeah.
I think if you have structure in your life, this is another key thing about mental health. Like structure is massively important. Like if you
in a technology world as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you actually discipline yourself to only set a certain amount of time on stuff, although it's hard. Like it's easy to just go on something and flick through it, and before you know it, you've been on it an hour. Yeah. Like I set reminders on my phone to notify me to get off an app. So like after an hour of being on an app, it would say you've done your hour, and then that's when although I can
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, although I can just go like, oh, okay, fuck off. I still want to watch that video.
Yeah.
It's an indication for me to be like, right, I need to get off it now because I've spent too much time on it. So that's a good thing that social media like actually introduced that. But it's not. People don't have that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Some people just sit there like
I've noticed on my TikTok, it actually comes up with a TikTok ad of that girl walking into a bathroom with her phone like this, and it goes, goodness gracious, da, da, da. And it's like, every
like
time
TikTok
it does it, I'm like, piss off, I've only been on it 10 minutes. And then it's like sometimes 4 hours later, then it comes up again. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, I'll put it down.
That's just TikTok rubbing it in your face like, ha, you've used our app for too long, but we're going to suck you in further.
Yeah, just scroll past this one.
Yeah. But nah, so, I don't know, like, there's definitely a lot of stuff that I find that is very fabricated in our lives, and I do think this has like a real bad implication on people, like, because I speak to a lot of kids, and I won't say kids like young age, but obviously I do, but like, I mean,
they're kids to you though.
Yeah, but
like in their early 20s.
Yeah, like let's say 18, lower than 18, they're still in school or college.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, or like I want to sell shoes online, or I want to do that, and I think that's great, but like, you do need to understand that like a career is important as well. Like as much as you can earn money online these days, like you also are you are a small fish in a very, very big sea of people. Yeah. And just because, and
all the internet love to tell you that nothing's oversaturated and everything is massively oversaturated now.
It's like with my music, isn't it? Like I also understand that it's just I'm one of millions of people trying to do it, and I'm not trying to lose myself or think that I'm going to get it now. Like I set goals for myself. This is one key thing. Like I have a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan of where I want to be with music and other things. Like
I have 5-year plans always.
Yeah, it's good to set them sort of goals. And if you're not being unrealistic about it and you're actually setting realistic goals, then and you can set yourself small targets to get there. Like I mean, you've probably heard this plenty of times by older people or whatever, but like it's true, isn't it? Like set yourself these small little tasks. Like for me, when I set out to do 97, I just said, look, I want to make a song by myself by the end of the year, and then because I set that goal, I started working on it, and then it was there within a month. And that was before the year ended. And I was like, I could actually do another one. I didn't, but I could have done. But now this year is I want to create an EP.
If you talk to yourself and overshare just as much as I do, you're probably thinking, I should start a podcast. I absolutely love having a podcast. I get to meet great guests and get to know people on such an intimate level. And even with my solo episodes, I can treat it just like a diary. You're probably freaking out thinking, how do I get started? Who's going to help me? What do I need? Where am I going to put it? How do I do this? How do I do that? I was just as stressed as this. You can use equipment you already have. All you really need is a mic and something to record it on. And you'll need to find a platform to be able to upload your podcast. Podcasting is the best thing right now. Get your personality out there. Get talking. It's inexpensive and it's so easy to do. I don't mind teaching you how to do it, but Buzzsprout is the best at teaching you everything you need to know and all the tools you need to use. You'll get a professional looking website, which is a bonus, that also displays all the different directories where you can listen to your podcast. That includes Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all the major directories that you would want to upload it to. You can also create short clips, audios to put into websites, and also other audio clips you want to upload onto like social media, which is really good for promoting the podcast. I've had a ton of people that click through onto my podcast just from those audio clips I have uploaded in the past. You get tons and tons of guides and information and advice on how to make your podcast successful, and you get detailed analytics so you can find out where is listening the most, what's the most listened to episode, and you also get encouragements of little milestones, which I find motivating. I get little medals. Use the link in the show notes to get $20 credit if you sign up for a paid plan. Using my link helps support my podcast and also gives you $20 credit. So choose Buzzsprout. It is the easiest way to get started.
So I want an EP out, a 5-track EP out this year, produced by myself again. And that's another step that I'm going to take for this year. But I have a 5-year plan of where I want to be and a 10-year plan. You don't need to know that, but you might see that. But yeah, so there's stuff
we'll
like...
make sure we stay in tune.
Stay in tune. Yeah.
Stay tuned is the phrase, isn't it? Stay in tune. Who says that?
Stay locked in.
Tuned.
Stay in tune. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Channel 550.
I set myself a New Year's resolution every year. So like this year it was just to get back into journaling. Like I used to write a diary a lot when I was a kid, and I only stopped because my family read all my diaries.
Why do you do it on New Year? This is an interesting point that I find with people.
I get the point, but it's something I do.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, I set myself a resolution to quit weed, and then it made me really ill trying to quit. I fucking looked like a crackhead. It was not right. I had to keep smoking, and then I had to do it when I was ready to do it. So I think it was like a year later I actually
when you are ready to do something, it is so much. Like for me,
Yeah.
I've been smoking weed since I was 14, so it's a good 10, 11 years, and that's mean I'm talking like every single day.
Yeah.
Like I've probably had maybe 6 months out of that whole period not smoking.
I was the
on
same,
and off.
but for 7 years.
So for me, like because of the where I wanted to be, and I had these sort of little goals with my music. Like truly, like music changed everything for me. Like when I started actually putting shit out, and I actually started getting a response that I wanted, I was like, right, I need to take this seriously now, and I actually start taking it a bit more serious for myself. Like, so that's one thing that drove me to stop smoking. So it gave me a reason to stop, but before that there was no reason to. Do you know what I mean? So I would sit there and I'd be like, right, you are literally just not having a zoot when you really fucking want one.
Yeah.
And you're just sat there killing yourself when it's not actually doing anything to you at that point bad, because you're not doing anything. But I think for me, like I know for myself that it demotivated me, and it made me sort of lazy to my dreams, and it made me sort of clouded by it. It doesn't happen for everyone, don't get me wrong. I've written some amazing stuff under the influence of bud. Like I've sometimes I'll smoke and I'll be really foghorn that out again. Wow. Yeah, sometimes like I've written some really good stuff. Like I can get inspired on it, but there's times where I can't. Where it depends. I do think it depends on the bud. This is the bad thing about the UK now. Is like
Our bud's shit.
I wouldn't say it's shit. It's just like
I think it's
you've got like so much potential with this country to actually create like decently like actually tested bud like they do in like America and things like that, where it's actually regulated, that this country would thrive off it. And yet they put all these negative connotations about what bud does to people's minds, but yet if you actually controlled the substance in a manner where you had dispensaries that were putting out clean bud, then you wouldn't have people with paranoia and things like that, because most of that stems from a synthetic side of it.
Yeah.
So like the chemicals that are used to make the bud bigger, or the THC more intense or like stronger, like a lot of that is in chemically induced stuff. Like
It's so true.
which does have a repercussion on your brain. Like it's massive. Like your brain is just a bunch of chemicals or neurons that are sending messages around your body. Which brings me on to probably my next point about something that helped me is mushrooms. Like I can't.
You got to educate me on this, because I have been recommended it.
Now I'm gonna get into it.
I have been recommended to microdose.
Yeah.
So many times, and especially when my health anxiety and when I was in my prime time and my daily panic attacks.
Yeah.
And I wish I tried it, but I was just too scared.
Mushrooms are so I'll start off with this, is that people have really, really bad ideas about what mushrooms do because of what the media used to portray on people about certain types of effects that it does. Like, don't get me wrong, if you're doing enough mushrooms, you are going to have a fucking very intense trip and you will trip out.
Have you ever had a bad experience?
I wouldn't say it was bad, but it was good. So I did a very, very high dose. So let's say 5 grams is a high dose. That's going to enough to make you trip.
How many mushrooms is that? 5?
So just 5 grams.
Oh,
it?
right.
Like,
it's based on weight.
Yeah. So it's 5 grams of mushrooms. And then it's just like, how many nums of bud you got there, bro?
I don't know.
6.
The only kind of drugs I usually knew anything about was weed.
Yeah. So it's the same as bud. It's just weighed up.
Oh, right.
Like, can I have 1 nog of weed,
I
blood?
took 2 marijuana.
You know what? Some kid in college actually said to me this. He was like, "Hey, bruv, can you get me like 2 bits of bud?" I was like, "What do you mean 2 bits of bud, bro?" I was just like, "What do you want? 2 ounces? Do you want 2 ounces, or do you want 2 grams, or do you want?"
Yeah,
what do
be
you want,
specific.
bruv? Yeah. He was like, "No, like just 2 buds." So I was just like, "Well, what is that?" But anyway, yeah. So people have a real bad perception on mushrooms, and it is because of the media, and it is because of the government and other sources. A lot of people would straight away be like, I ain't touching that because I'm going to see fucking fairies and all this bullshit. Like, don't get me wrong, like, if you did enough. So I did 15 grams, which is 3 times the amount that you should do to have a real intense trip. For about, I was tripping for a good 14 hours, but there was
14 hours.
Yeah, but yeah.
And what if you need to just snap out of it?
No,
you can't.
No, there's no snapping out.
Right.
We're teaching you some lessons now, boy.
You learn it today.
Yeah, literally. Like, so the only thing I can say is, I'll talk about my experience on that first, is that with 15 grams, like, your mind plays a lot of tricks on you, and it's what I would say is that those things are things that, like, technically you need to overcome. So, like, your mind will put all this sort of, like, intense fucking shit down on you, and it, like, really fucking intense.
Can you remember, like,
so
the whole process?
Visually, okay, so when I did the 15 grams, like, you get a real fucking strong come up. It's not like any drug that you've ever taken. It's not like Mandy. It's not like Ket. It's not.
Can you even describe it?
It's like very, very euphoric sort
Right.
of experience. Like, things start warping and things start being, like, all your senses are very much heightened, but, like, to the point where it's like, let's say that these are your senses here. They're like going like fucking all like this. So
right.
you start smelling sounds. You can like
Wow.
you can start seeing like all these weird things. Like, so when you're looking at a speaker, you can actually see the bellowing of it coming out. Like, as a...
That's sick.
It's so weird, like...
That is sick.
I remember when I was at Boomtown on the big stage, I wasn't doing this... I'm going on tangent here, but at Boomtown, like, I did, like, maybe 5 grams, and you could literally see all these fucking, like... It looks like heat waves.
That's
like, you know,
so
when you
sick.
see in a summer day, and it's, like, heat waves coming on the floor, it looks like that, and you're like, oh, my God, this is amazing. But, yeah, so that time when I did 15 grams, like, the come-up was really, really intense, and then with that amount, like, you are going to trip, so all your visual senses go off on weird ones. So, like, everything to me in this room, let's say, would look like as it is, but it would, like, start moving, and then the whole shape of it would be like kaleidoscopic patterns.
That's so weird.
Huge intense trips, like, where I was laying there, and you see how you've got, like, little things like this, all these bits would be dropping on me, like little, like,
You'd be flinching.
nah, like, they're just like dribbling on my face, and I was like, oh my God. Like, literally, like, it felt like the ceiling was dripping on me.
That is mad.
And then I remember when my mate Brandon, his housemate, I was trying to stand up and I couldn't stand up, but I was trying to do something. He was like, let me put something on TV for you can trip out for. And I was like, thank you, Brev. And then he put these, like, proper, like, booky, like dronescape, like intense things. Like, so it was all weird, like,
everything's going on.
yeah, but it just gave me something to focus on, because everything else was so fucked up that it was just incredible.
You needed something moving so that everything else that was moving could stay still.
Like, that shouldn't move, this should move, like sort of thing.
To have a bit of reality.
Yeah, but that was the visual side of it. So you get a lot of intense sort of things. Things start moving, like this lampshade would start, like, it would pop and turn into something else. Like, it might start running across the floor or something. It might grow arms and legs and running. It's a bit like, how I can explain it, is like, you know how in dreams that 1 minute you might be on a scooter, next minute the scooter's flying, and then you're, like, jumping off on it on a parachute.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that. Like, it's very...
It's like a real life awake dream.
Yeah, proper, like, conscious dream, and
that's mad.
It can get very intense. I personally wouldn't do that amount, or I wouldn't recommend that amount to anyone.
At least you've done the worst case for us, though.
Yeah,
the worst case with the best outcome.
Yeah. So,
perfect.
The mental side of it, though. So there was a lot of lessons that I had. I spoke to Alex before about how throughout that whole experience, I felt all these challenges, like these mental challenges that I felt that was very individual to me. Everyone has a very individual mental effect. You might have the same sort of visual effect, but mentally, like, you would have your own experience. And I felt all these things that were happening was like, I don't know if you've seen the Simpsons film, but you know when he sees that woman in the forest and he's, like, hanging up on a tree and his, like, arms and legs are coming off, and, like, it's like this, and it's so scary to him, but it's like this mental challenging. And then when he came back round, he was like, oh my God, I'm alive, I'm fine. And that sense of clarity, like, when I came round to the point where I'm still tripping, but my sense of self came back, because it's almost like you die. Like, it's like someone just killed me off, bro, and I died. And then this whole thing was happening to me. And then as I came back round, it was like someone gifted me my life back. It truly felt like someone was like, it's like they said, look, you can have your life back now. And you're like, oh my God, like, it was such an intense experience, but I learned a lot.
Did you think at any point, like
I thought I was
did you
dying.
get any anxiety and think I'm gonna die?
Yeah, no, I thought I was dying. But the thing is, with shrooms, the good thing about it, you can't overdose on them. You can't die off them. You can certainly kill yourself on them.
Can ya?
Yeah, like some people.
I thought you couldn't die on shrooms.
No, you can't die on shrooms. Like, you can't overdose on them.
So
the shroom itself. Yeah, like the shroom itself cannot kill you. But if some people are
it would make you act that way.
Most people that are in a high-story building sometimes feel like the only way that they can end it is literally by ending it.
Oh my God, that just reminded me of that program.
Yeah.
Where you could pick. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The Netflix thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, the Netflix film where you pick the whole narrative.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Alright then.
I'm gonna fly.
And they both take pills, and they're like, "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "Should we jump off?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
But then the other people were like, "Yeah," and their film ended, and I had like an extra hour on mine because I didn't kill myself.
I was like, fine.
Well done. You've accomplished life.
I just didn't want the film to end.
Yeah.
Recommend a trip sitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, trip sitters are really great, yeah. So I'd say for someone that wants to do an experience of high doses of trips, then trip sitting is 100% a good thing. But also, like, it's good to be around nature. Like, don't be in somewhere you feel uncomfortable. Certainly don't be around people that are making you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's with any drug.
One thing I hate with fucking shrooms is if you're around someone, they're like, oh, you're tripping out, bro.
Oh.
And you're like, bruv, fuck off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm tripping out, but, like, don't make this worse for me.
Yeah,
it's
you're supposed to treat me like I'm being myself.
Yeah, it's meant to...
And then I'd tell myself that I'm calm.
Yeah, the thing is with shrooms, isn't it? Like, it doesn't change who you are. Like, there's certain drugs like alcohol and cocaine and things like that that truly change who you are. You can become aggressive on it, but your sense of self is still there. Like, you are still yourself if you do, like, a normal amount. Like, if you go past that, like, I call it a breakthrough point. Like, if you punch through the breakthrough, like, you no longer are anything. Mm-hmm. You are just this, like, vessel that is having this spiritual awakening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I can put it. It's truly a spiritual awakening. It can release a lot of, like, so... One thing I'll go on to microdosing now is that they are doing a lot of research. John Hopkins, I think in America, is one of the most leading places that are doing scientific research. When you're ages of like 1 to 10, you build up this programming phase. So like whatever's installed into you at that age can be very much like glued to you. And they're finding out now that with treatment of microdosing, it can completely undo that. So
which would be so good.
It's incredible.
For so much trauma and shit.
So people with like PTSD, anxiety, depression, certain types of like ADHD and things like that can be changed with it. You're not going to change it completely, but it makes you... It's basically like a different perspective that you can see from, and then it's like you understand from that point that you can think like that. You don't have to think like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like... Let's say someone's super depressed, and I was like, do you want my mind for one day? And then they had that whole experience with my mind, and then, or anyone else with a positive mind. And then after that day, they go, do you know what? That was really nice, and I could think like that, and I don't have to. Although these things are here, and this is my life, I don't have to let that affect me.
Yeah.
And that is how it can make someone feel in a very, very uneducated way. Mm-hmm. Like, there's people that can explain this in a very, very... scientific manner. One thing I will say,
I'd rather hear it your way though, just because I
it's a lot more
understand
funner.
that. Yeah, I understand it more.
Yeah, I can swear on
I can swear.
Are they addictive?
No, so mushrooms are not an addictive substance.
What if you make it an addiction because you're an addictive person?
Yes, so if this is something that I would say with marijuana as well. So I don't think marijuana or any natural substance which isn't synthesized. So the main reason why a lot of drugs are addictive is because of the synthesization that happens when they are trying to extract these chemicals, because they have to use other chemicals to extract these and synthesize it. Those then have a side effect on your body chemicals. With natural substances, although you're getting more chemicals into your body because it's natural, it doesn't have these sort of you don't have like this urge to have it. It's more of like I can leave it or take it. Like I don't need to do shrooms ever. I choose to do it if I want to do it, and I don't really do them that often because mushrooms are probably one of the easiest things to build your tolerance up to. Like let's say you did 15 grams or 5 grams. If you did 5 grams the next day, you probably wouldn't do anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it might make you feel a certain way, but you will nowhere near feel anything that you did the day before.
So also, if you were to microdose, does that make it hard to function?
So with
Or
microdosing,
is it really small?
yeah, so with microdosing, technically no, but sometimes yes. So like, let's say like your tolerance is really, really low and you've never had it before. If you did like a 0.2, that you can have some sort of small task can be made sort of bit of a brain fart. So basically what happened, I'll tell you what happened in your brain is this, and this is kind of what you'll gauge why that is.
When you microdose?
When you microdose. So when you microdose, what's happening in your brain is you've got neurons that send messages around your body. What those neurons are doing is they're sending signals to sometimes neurons that they've never even spoke to before. So stoned ape theory is a really cool theory that you should look at. It's like the evolution of how mushrooms could have adapted our brains to expand to the point that we have.
What's that theory called?
Stoned ape theory.
Okay.
It's essentially
Stoned ape.
Yeah, I'll tell you like the short story of it. It's like over like centuries and centuries and centuries of years when we were caveman, we were foragers, and basically mushrooms were one of the prominent things that we used to eat, and it was soon that we found out about these magic mushrooms, over time that expanded our brains because our neurons are sending messages around our body, neurons that have never even spoke to one another. So imagine in an evolutionary sort of scale, over thousands and thousands and thousands of years, how that can expand a human brain to be what it is today. I don't know if that's a fact, it's just a theory like I said, but it's quite a logical theory if you understand it. So back to the neurons. So neurons are being sent around your body, which is sometimes they're sending signals that they sort of muddle up your signals a little bit. So I don't know, like let's say you're trying to write an essay. Sometimes you're like, the words jumble up in your brain a little bit and you're like, oh fuck, what am I even writing?
Yeah.
But there are also times where it can completely make you fucking channeled into everything you do. So sometimes I microdose before I write lyrics because I find for myself that I can get into this flow.
Yeah.
Most artists understand the terminology of flow. It's basically like when things are just flowing and it's just coming out, and it's like your spirit is just flowing.
You're on a roll.
Yeah, and it's just coming out, and it's just like, wow, I'm fucking doing loads of stuff and I didn't even realise I'll keep burping.
Yeah. Because sometimes the thought of doing something is a lot more daunting than actually doing it.
Just doing it, yeah. So this kind of like what that book's telling me about the artist's way is it's like, don't think about what they do, like exercise. I think it's called like unconscious writing. It's basically like, don't think about what you write, just write, and just keep writing and writing and writing. And like, and it's just anything like you could be writing about one thing 1 minute and then you'll have a thought pop in your head and you just jot that down and then you expand on that a little bit later and then you carry on writing. And it's just this way of like overriding your mind that says don't stop. It's just a complete, like, I found when I was writing lyrics firsthand, like before, I'd really think about what I'm trying to say and I'd really like go in depth about it, but now I just write this almost like short story of what I want to do and then I change it into lyrics.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll just write a thing like an idea and I'll expand on that idea and then I'll write lyrics.
Yeah.
Because then I have like a whole story to go off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it can. I think a lot of creativity is expelled from you when you take microdoses or shrooms. Some people recommend doing a heavy dose of shrooms and then after that for about a month they feel like they are really, really tuned into their creativity.
Yeah.
Which is true. Like I've had times where I've done quite a lot and then after that I just feel so like freed of any sort of blockage.
Yeah.
And for that whole period I can just create. And then with microdosing, you can do it in a way where you're not meant to do it every day. It's not. This is the thing about addiction as well. Like microdosing isn't something that you do every day. Like you're meant to do like a 0.2, 0.3 capsule once every like 3 days.
Oh, okay.
So it's not something you do constantly.
You kind of like self-medicating with it.
Yeah,
Like on occasion.
Yeah, it's like it's better to do it in a way where like you can. I personally think it's better when you structure it in a little while. So like, let's say you did a Monday, Wednesday, and a Saturday, and then a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. You did that for a month, and then you changed it up to like other days.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Don't do it before. This is one thing I'll say. Some people do, but I don't recommend it. Don't do it before you've got to do anything task-wise. Like if you've got to go to work, if you've got to drive, or if like just be in a relaxed environment where you can chill and experience it and let your creativity.
Like if you're about to sit at home, write some bars down.
Literally, exactly that. Or like if you want to go on your computer and design something, or if you just want to, even if you want to watch a film and you're just chilling that night. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes me and my missus will just like do a little microdose and we'll like watch Avatar or something because it's oh bro, it's gully, bro. Like it's so sick. So it's just nice, and then because you're just chilling, you don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Don't do it when you
Got
don't.
no serious tasks.
Yeah, like because like it can be like small things like maths or something, or like let's say you like trying to work out how much something things cost. You're like, I know I can do this, but it's not coming through.
It's not coming to me.
Yeah. But one thing I will say is that microdosing is amazing to connect you to nature. It really does connect you to like natural stuff. You do have this sense of connectivity to the world. Not in a hippie, well, you can call it a hippie way if you want, but you just feel so connected to energy and frequency and just this channel of just life. Like
which everyone should have access to.
100%, and I just never understand why it's illegal. I personally believe it's illegal just because I do think because it makes people see things in a different light, and maybe the government or people that are in control don't want people to feel like that because it means that you'll look at your work differently.
Yeah.
You'll probably question
things that should stress you out don't anymore.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like this is all consumerism. Like health is, as much as it's bad, people are making money off that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
they
don't want people to feel like released from all of this because they're making money off that, and if they can keep making you take these paracetamols or these bloody
which do fuck all.
That
Paracetamol does not even touch the sides.
Okay, there. I personally don't touch any medication. Like I don't have any medication. I personally think like if you got people, this is another thing about the world now is that people have become accustomed to having these pills to sort problems out. When, don't get me wrong, some issues need medical attention.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to discard that, but certain things.
Should it be the first option though?
No,
I don't think so.
I think if you've got a headache, drink some water, go for a walk, eat some food, and if you've still got a headache,
good
after
food
that,
as well.
Yeah, like good food, healthy
not some
food.
McDonald's.
No, 100%. This is it. Like do stuff that you should naturally do before that, and if you've still got a headache, then go for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of things where like people are just so quick to having a tablet to solve issues, and before you know it, you're then relying on it.
Yeah, and half of them are placebos anyway.
Yeah, they are.
Like antihistamines, massive.
I saw an interview actually the other day. To be fair,
full of
about
shit those things.
Yeah.
I've taken them my whole life and they do fuck all.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You've probably become immune. You're immune to it or some sort. Like,
yeah, and through the doctors they put me on different ones, and I have a worse reaction to my allergies, and I'm just like, how does that even work?
For women though, because when they have to take like these like contraception tablets and things, it fucks up like your system massively. I feel so bad for women, man, because it's like they go through like so much chemical changes in their body for someone else's, for themselves,
permanently, just like
fucks you up, bro.
Yeah,
like I've watched my missus go really, really like fucking weird. Not weird, but like,
oh yeah, my friends have been the same.
And it's just like
sends them loopy sometimes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Massively, bro. It really does fuck women up. Like I just don't feel it's not fair at the end of the day. Like it's horrible that women have to go through that.
And you know the reason they didn't release the pill that they had created for men is because they experienced things like mood swings.
Yes.
And
which is
all the things that women experience. Yeah.
So I saw an interview the other day actually.
Funny. It's funny.
Take the pill. Yeah. No, I saw this interview the other day by a guy actually, and he was saying like, she's slurping again.
I'm so increasing about it. I was trying to sip to stop myself from laughing.
That's
I
definitely
couldn't.
not the one to do.
As a side effect.
Oh,
Yeah, there's this guy doing an interview the other day that was basically talking about how why don't they teach men and women the fertility cycles of women? Like, there's truth in that. Like, there's
apparently we only have 48 hours that we can
yeah,
get
there
pregnant
is.
in.
Like, so in a 1 month you have like a week or something, or a period that you literally just don't like. I don't know if you're producing eggs or you're just not fertile, but they're like, if people just understood the cycles of that, like maybe that would make a difference, and you wouldn't have to take all these things. But
Well,
again,
people that go through IVF and stuff, they're so good with this cycle.
yeah, they have to be. Yeah,
That they know how to fit in that window, whether they're having sex purposely at that time or going through things like IVF.
yeah.
So when you have this small window, and a lot of us women, we don't have regular cycles, so we can't figure out our fucking cycle.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't
But the
had
problem is you
a
probably
regular cycle for years.
Is that not because of the contraceptions though?
Well, yeah, partially.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
But like when I get stressed, my contraception doesn't work the same
yeah,
because I will have like multiple in
you're
a
getting
month.
chemical imbalances in your body
Massively.
and,
And when I was
fucking shit
like 14, I was told that from a doctor. Obviously, it's a fucking doctor that told me it.
up. Dr. Phil.
That they said to me that I have a huge reaction to estrogen hormone,
Yeah.
which is like the main hormone in my fucking body. So they put me on the pill.
I have no idea what that is, but yeah.
So men have like, I don't know whether men use estrogen as well, but
Is that what some men use at the gym?
No,
testosterone.
So I thought estrogen
Makes you grow tits.
Yeah, so that but this I swear some
Obviously,
people that
that's
do
way
too much
more
testosterone.
scientifically stuff on that.
Yeah, so some people that do too much testosterone, they have to have estrogen to then balance it back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I
So
think
with women, you get like different pills based on different hormones.
right, okay.
But I used to react to estrogen, but little did I mean, I've only sort of figured it out this year that I was probably so fucking stressed that I was just producing too much.
Too much of it, yeah.
Like, I'm in puberty and I'm going haywire. I'm having migraines for weeks on end. I'm like not able to work in class and that because I'm so unwell. So they stuck me on the pill. And they were like, that'll solve your problem. They put me on the wrong pill first.
This is
So they put me on the estrogen pill first. So then I nearly had like a fucking stroke when I was only 14. And then they put me on the other one, which lowered it massively, cut my periods out. So I didn't have a period for like 7 years.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When you're young and you're like a
blood clots
teenager,
galore, mate.
you're like, oh, flex. You're like, yeah, I can go anywhere. I can go swimming.
But as a woman, you're like, this ain't normal.
Yeah, and then when
Yeah.
you get to like in your 20s, you're like, this ain't right.
Yeah, no.
You're like, I'm feeling weird
that
things
can
in
really
my belly.
mess up your fertility rate, though, can't it? Like,
Yeah, I've been told twice that I'm infertile.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, no, that's peak. My sister's like that.
yeah.
She's-
I don't think everyone is though.
No, my sister's got...
Like, a lot of people get told it, but I've never had actual tests done.
Yeah.
Like, I tried to donate my eggs in lockdown because I was like, what the fuck am I going to do to make money?
Good money.
So I tried to donate my eggs because
Really?
you get paid decent money for it.
That's like...
And I wasn't using them.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, I'm not releasing them for 7 years. So I was
Yeah.
like, may as well make use of them. And they
Slap
did.
them out on the
and-
table.
Yeah.
How much do you want, mate?
In
£20 an
America,
egg.
you
loads,
get
mate.
because here you're not allowed to sell your eggs. They pay you compensation.
Right.
They pay you compensation for the procedure. So you get
Would you
like,
not feel weird there if someone had your kid?
well, not if I'm donating an egg.
Just pop down like, yes, bro.
Knocking all 300 of them.
Well, go on, mumsy.
Well, to be fair, your
Got blonde ones,
details.
brown ones. What
Yeah,
do you
your
want?
details
Ginger
are never
ones?
ever given to them. It's up to the adoptive parents whether they give that information to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I had to write all this stuff down. I had to write like a letter to them and everything.
Oh, that's crazy.
Never even happened. By
I
the
would
way.
not imagine donating my sperm, mate.
Well, you
come
get
up like a
like
little
you only get like
crackhead.
£25 a pop. We
Yeah,
get
yeah.
hundreds.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But yeah,
Yeah.
when I tried to go for that procedure, they were like, yeah, something's not right. You can't do it. You're
Yeah,
either
yeah.
infertile or you've got some major health issue. But
Yeah,
we're a
that's
private
crazy.
clinic and you have to pay us to tell you why. And I was like, I'm not paying you to tell me what's wrong with me.
That's £200,000, thank you.
Got to make money.
Yeah. And how many times did I go? Like, I was going there for tests every week. I was giving bloods. Like,
What?
yeah, and I was about to go and start injecting myself with these hormones.
Oh, no.
And then they were like, they were like, yeah, no, it can't happen now. I think
Nah.
you're infertile.
Yeah, no.
I was like, well, after all that,
How does that affect you though? Do you not? Are you okay?
I've
about
always been told it since I was like 14. Though.
Okay, so
and I
you're-
also think everyone these days is fucking told that.
that? Yeah. Well,
But
this
yeah.
is the thing, isn't it? Like some people that are told that they can't have babies, they do actually have babies. So it's
And me and him have always been like fine with like adopting
yeah.
because I spoke about it very early days. I said, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm infertile." Probably not, knowing like this day and age, everyone's told they're infertile.
Do you want
and
your
they're
own
not.
kids?
Well, not anytime soon.
Yeah, but eventually, yeah.
Possibly.
That's how me and my missus are though. Like we're a bit like, if it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. But we're not really bothered. I'd rather live out my youth and just not wish away my life too quick. Because I think once you've had a kid, man, that's like 25 years of your life gone.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but you're not doing whatever you want to do. Do you know what I mean?
But then at the same time, you have like natural survival instincts.
100%.
And you will do whatever it is you think you're lacking in.
I think every
My friends have shocked me. Like,
Really?
not that I didn't think they could do it, but honestly, they have turned their whole fucking lives around.
Yeah.
Paid off all their debts. Like, their kid has never gone without. And it's like, not that I thought that would ever happen, but I grew up with my family and it was normal to struggle.
Yeah.
It was normal to like, everyone would help each other out.
You see what?
Episode Take Shrooms or Have a Kid.
Yeah. Take shroom or have babies.
Or both. While you're pregnant. Here you are, Charlie. Off you go now.
On your next
Silent
episode.
night.
But yeah.
Let's cut that there.
Yeah.
That's the TikTok one. Jokes, bro.
But yeah, you definitely do, like, whether you think it's the right time or not, no matter, like, what position you're in, I think as just a human being, you have these survival instincts.
Yeah, I think it's every whether you're male or woman. Majorly for a woman, I think it's almost like your natural. You need that. It's almost like a fulfillment for a woman. Like some people, it's like your birthright almost.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then I
can
think
imagine.
men feel the same. I think they just disguise it.
I do feel like I know myself that if I ever had a kid,
So say, for instance, your partner was like, I'm like 5 months, which most people, including me, think is a bit too far to have an abortion. Because
Yeah,
you
no,
can have
100%.
one
Yeah.
at 5 months pregnant.
yeah, my brother went through a situation like this.
That's so tough.
Yeah, so
But it's like, it does happen. My mum found out at 6 months with me,
Yeah.
so there was no abortion choice.
no,
It was like, you're giving it up or you're keeping
we don't
it.
want you, but you're coming anyway.
And here I am.
Doing podcasts.
I can't remember what I was saying now.
Nah, it's like every woman's right to have like.
Oh
a kid
yeah, and I
like-
think like once you're put into that situation and you hold your baby for the first time, a lot of people change their whole mindset about
Oh,
it.
massively, yeah. I think it like completely changes.
And they're like,
you.
I am never abandoning this kid.
Yeah, I know for myself.
And then
that-
there's the opposite side, and they're like, fuck this kid.
Bye. just take him down the woods and go play. The foxes will definitely like you, mate. Yeah. Daddy. But no, like I know if I ever had a kid, man, I definitely. As much as I say I don't want one now, I know if there's be a point in my life where I do want one, and it's just like I know I'd love it. Like seeing a little you grow up and with your like your little personality traits, kicking it like a ball.
I'm just picturing
Do you know what I mean?
I'm just picturing
Like, kick the
things.
baby.
The way me and Alex are behind closed doors, and I just think we could never.
Mate, I'll be giving my kid a mic at like 3 year olds, like spit bars, mate. You'll be better than me. Start putting drum pads in front of me, like that's it, mate.
That'd
You're
be
giving
so
it
funny.
no like holes and fucking balls, mate. You're giving it drum pads to do.
There is actually a kid on social media that is a full like decent
mate.
DJ.
Yeah. Oh, there's loads of them on that.
Is it?
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
is he like
remember
8
his
years old or
name.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Ray's kids.
Mega
So
Wayne.
sick.
Oh, no, yeah.
He's put me to shame.
See, I always think about this if I had a kid, like, what would I actually genuinely want to teach it from a young age? Because I'd be like, right, think smartly here. If you teach it saying proper skill from a young age, they would, like, if they like it, obviously, you're not going to force it on them, but if they like it and they actually, like, grow up to be, like, they'd be fucking elite by the time they was, like, 15, bruv.
Mm-hmm.
Like, crazy. Like, I'd love to be able to install that, but
I think self-defense would be like the one thing I'd be like.
You're going to a Shaolin monk.
Yeah,
You know,
especially if I ever had any like girls.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would make sure it was drummed into them.
It's weird to think as well, like how we've got to think like. I think it is great that, like, I do think that people should have some sort of.
I would give my kids the most brutal sex education.
Yeah, like this is. I was gonna
That
say like.
people would be embarrassed to have that conversation twice.
Oh mate, I'm so open with my family, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't ever have to. I mean, I used to speak about shit like that with my grandma, mate. Like.
Yeah, me and my family are very open, but my sisters are like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
why
yeah.
are you talking about this, mum?" But my mum's always been really open. So
I think
I'm
it depends on the person
talk-
as well. Like, you
Yeah.
could always be like, "Oh, don't talk to me about that," and you're just like, "Well, shut the fuck up and sit down because you need to know this."
Yeah,
Do you know
that's
what
what
I
I say
mean?
to my younger sister.
Yeah. Like, stop.
Even
stop
if you
being a-
think it's crude, is that
Yeah.
the right phrase?
Nah,
Crude?
like just a bit like touchy, if you know what I mean. Or
yeah,
like
a bit
of
private.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, fuck that. You gotta know.
Yeah, it's not like saying like get your minge out. Let's have a look and. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly what my mum does. She's like, "Is everything good down there? Let me
think
check
so."
for you." But yeah,
Yeah,
my
no.
mum used to teach us when we were younger. She used to literally.
Can I just say this has
strip off-
gone really funny from talking about mushrooms to vaginas.
But like
love
my
it.
mum used to like literally strip off, and she used to be like, "Right, this is what you're trying to feel for."
Yeah,
And she's
yeah,
like, "You
yeah.
got to check this every day."
No, that's good though. Like
Yeah.
that's like no one told me to. My dad never. I was like touch on your bollocks, bro.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Or
Make sure there's no lumps in it.
yeah. But you got it, man. It's just get some soap on that thing. Makes it nice. Cleaning and checking at the same time. Literally. Do you want me to check yours as well, mate? No,
That's
Gav,
where it does
promise.
cross the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it's gone from son up to back up to dad. How long have we been filming for?
I don't know. What is the time though?
Good amount of time.
Alrighty.
Oh, it's 3:30. Fucking hell.
Alright.
That's like 2, 3. I don't know. Have we done 2.5 hours? I don't mind.
Must have.
Keep the fucking rest though for a second time because I'll come
Yeah.
back. We'll do more.
To be
innit?
fair, I have a guideline so that if anyone ever feels like uncomfortable or like doesn't want to talk about
Oh
certain
no,
things,
I couldn't give a shit. I'm
I've
open.
got like a list of stuff that I can ask that is not inappropriate.
The only things I don't want to talk about is a bit like my like other people's stuff, like my stepmom and my sister, or like
Yeah, that's fine,
because that's their
though.
personal.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's their personal stuff. But I don't think we've said anything about that
No.
unless I've.
No.
Yeah, no, I
Cut
think it's really good.
Look
Look at him trying to cut the podcast for me.
Yeah.
This is my show.
Alex.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on.
Nah,
though.
that's all good. I've enjoyed it.
It's been
man,
really
honestly.
good.
It's been
and
sick.
I would definitely love you to come back on.
Yeah,
again.
no, 100% I will. It's been really, really good.
Yeah, it's not a lot easier than it seems. Then once you actually sit down and get comfortable with
100%.
it.
I was thinking before when I come, I was like, how's this actually going to go? Is it gonna
Yeah,
be a
what's
bit
this
weird
bitch going to
or-
talk to me about?
Yeah.
She gonna stick it on
Babies
me?
in that.
I don't. Which one of us brought that up? Was it me?
I don't know. I think it was about when I was talking about chemicals
Oh,
and
yeah.
how it affects your body. Yeah, but
Yeah, we could get so much more in depth about that stuff, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still learning how to edit. So
yeah,
let's keep it
let's
short
give
under
you some
4
like,
hours.
Yeah. We could definitely be here for 6 hours. Like,
But to all the listeners, please make sure you go into the link, I guess, underneath the description of whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on. Go to every link, do every single kind of interaction, show some love, because we need to know that you want to see more of this stuff. And thank you so much for listening. And if you also share us on Instagram, tag me. I'll reshare it. All right?
I think that's a good deal.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a good deal.
deal.
But thank you so much.
But,
Bye.
sound guys.
The sheer scope of grief and wasted human